I think theater is so much more powerful than people understand and imagine. And then when you start putting people on stages, they see themselves represented in a way that they had never seen before, and they realize that they can do things that they've never done before. And ultimately, that they don't want us to have that sort of power and that sort of unlimited imagination. So it's like, okay, we're going to have these barriers so they can only do X amount of work, or we're going to make this scarcity mindset to believe that they have to knock each other down to get to the top. So that is where my thoughts are headed. But Monet, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I hear that. And I think I think it's a lot I think it's a lot less malicious like than that. Like I actually think it's just like one, our we cannot separate our theater culture from our American culture, which is steeped in white supremacy and capitalism and patriarchy and transphobia and like queer, like all the things, right? So like, so the stories are coming from that same imagination, right? So the same people who imagined up race are imagining up carousel. They're imagining up ragtime. I really hate ragtime, y'all. Let me just say that in public. I hate that show.
Hot take from Monet Marshall.
It's just like the wheels of a dream for who? The two black parents are dead, and then the white people are raising the little black boy. Like what? Like, I just whose American dream is that? Anyway. So, and if anyone wants to talk to me later about that, please, because I'll just tell you it's racist. It's a racist show. We should stop doing it. So I just think it's a limitation around imagination, right? Like, in the same way that you have Friends that was on for however many seasons, and yet the New York they were living in, they hardly had any black people. It's like, what part of New York is that, right? So I think there is something about the ways in which we are not allowing ourselves to actually pay attention to the world as it is, instead of the world that's been given like to us in our minds. And I think for me, I actually don't pay a lot of attention to the wider theater community. And I know that's going to sound like, what, Monet? And this pandemic has also shown me that these institutions that they've told us are held up as the pinnacle of theater, Broadway, the regional theater, the this, the that, the da 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 da. This is where you should aspire to be. You get out of school, you want to get a job at a regional theater. You want to be part of the union. You want to go to Hollywood. And then when things close, you're like, oh, you didn't build your house out of bricks either. Oh. So I was struggling to get into your not well-made house in which you were treating me like the ugly step cousin. So why should I fight for you? What normal are we going back to? So that's why I really focus on like, oh, I'm going to focus on the stories I want to tell and the people I want to tell them with and for and be accountable to. And other people can do what they want to do. They can produce ragtime. I don't have to be part of it.